So we are beginning this next 40 days with the theme of sacred polarity. And as we go into any spiritual tradition, I think the more mystical aspect of them, perhaps the sort of mystical Christianity, mystical Judaism, mystical Hinduism, which Hinduism can also be very orthodox and sort of ritual based and not so much the heart. We kind of get lost in that, but right, the mystical heart of all of these spiritual paths is, in essence, we need one another, right? The masculine needs the feminine needs the masculine. And what that means is really that completion of energies is there in union, in connection, in harmonizing those polarities, not that one is more valuable than the other, or only one is valid at any given time. It's really just the two working in sort of this sacred connection and harmony. And so the practice that we're doing now in this next 40 days is very much a harmonizing, in a sense, of the two past practices where we were holding the breath in, which is in a sense a very masculine energy, right? You're taking, and there's a lot of energy, and there's a sense of solar activation of the sympathetic nervous system. And the practice before the last one, where we were holding the breath out, which is very much the emptiness, the pause, the sort of passive parasympathetic response of the body to go into a space of healing, of regeneration. So in this one, we're doing both. We are breathing in, and it's all self-guided in terms of how long you hold the breath. So that is not a strict timing, but a sense of how does this work for me, each of us individually. So we'll be inhaling slowly, slow, easy breath in, holding your breath as long as is comfortably possible for you without forcing, gasping, straining, and then exhaling the breath out and holding the breath out. Again, same thing for as long as is comfortably possible without forcing, straining, gasping. And that will shift and change as we go through this time together, and your breath will become more of a spacious place for you to sit in that neutral space, that shunya, which is the two polarities meeting in harmony. So we're not sort of compelled in either direction too extremely, but we're using both gifts to bring balance, a space of safety and ease where we can meditate on what are the gifts of the projective polarity, what are the gifts of the receptive polarity, what are the gifts of emptiness, what are the gifts of fullness, and the two working in harmony. And our hands will be in a little interesting mudra to complement this question of polarity. So your right hand is facing down and your left palm is facing forward, and the thumbs are hooked, right? So you have this sort of perpendicular shape of your left palm forward, your right palm down, and the thumbs hooked together. So that'll be our mudra, and the eyes will be closed, focusing at the third eye. So let's jump in and start to bring some energy into the palms, letting the eyelids soften, focusing inward for a moment, taking a full breath in and a full breath out. As we move into this new cycle of the Scorpio astrological qualities of a deepening into fall, a deepening into releasing, a deepening into the inner guide, a deepening of union as well, of reliance on one another for resources, for connection. These are all themes of Scorpio and this time of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, at least. Inviting a sense of harmony, intensifying that neutral space within, in connection to our interdependence. Unity in our diversity, the gifts as they stand alone and what they produce when they come together. So let's begin with an inhale to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Oh, throat. Okay. So our mudra again, left palm faces forward, right palm faces down, thumbs are hooked. And you want to bring your right wrist to bend, actually. So a 90-degree angle to the best of your ability with your forearm. It's not quite there, but try to set the right elbow forward and the right palm facing down, creating a little bend in the wrist. And then the left palm is facing forward. So you want to keep your thumbs locked throughout our meditation here. And the eyes are closed and gently lifting up to the third eye. So we're kind of bringing that inner drishti to the third eye point. And our breath pattern is a simple inhale, full, slow, deep breath in, holding the breath as long as you comfortably can. And then exhaling completely and holding the breath out as long as possible. Let's do our breath of fire warm up first. Forgive me, I'm a little out of it this morning. So you curl your fingers in, thumbs stretch out, and this is just to sort of prime the lungs. Tall spine and breath of fire through the nose, rapid inhale, exhale. Keep your rhythm steady. Keep the breath strong to clear out these channels, finer pathways of the lungs of the nadis extending from the heart and chest through the arms, circulating prana, and the eyes close, looking up through the crown. Last 20 seconds. Four, three, two, one. Inhale, full breath in, stretch the arms overhead, thumb tips touch, fingers reach up, hold here. Holding the breath, stretching the arms. Exhale, slowly release the arms, sweeping them down. And pausing to a natural breath. And so left palm turns up, receiving. As the right palm turns up, releasing. And the polarity of one in the other as well, right? There's a sense of the feminine in the masculine and the masculine in the feminine. There's a sense of surrender in the giving and a sense of engaging with as we receive. An action in receiving and a passiveness in giving. So the left palm again facing forward, right palm facing down, hook the thumbs, and then we'll begin our practice here, our next 40-day cycle. And this is called our composite polarity mudra. Eyes closed, slowly getting the adjusted feeling of lifting your gaze, right? So getting used to that, looking through the third eye point. Inhaling deep, slow breath in through the nose. Holding the breath here as long as is comfortable, remembering to lift the chest, soften the chin down. So we're not straining, you're holding the breath in the upper chest, in the ribs, not in the throat. And then when you feel ready to, exhaling, slow, full, complete breath out, holding your breath out as long as is possible without forcing. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Shake the hands out. Wrists. So for each one of us, we might fall into dominance in either polarity. And this practice is a space for us to fall into ease in either of them, right? So if a situation is requiring the feminine polarity, I'm able to actually access that. If my dominant polarity is the masculine or active principle, vice versa. So we can really respond to the needs of the moment with what is required of us, even if it's not our usual mode of being. So this is a very subtle practice. This one, it takes time to sort of open up different dimensions, but that's why we do it for 40 days, so we can feel into it. Close out. Inhaling to chant. Sat Nam. Peace to all, love to all, light to all. Thank you for being here, sharing in this time together. Does anyone have any questions? So the
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. And just another comment on this practice. So the way the heartbeat is modified and regulated through the retentions interacts with the arc line. And Kundalini Yoga recognizes that there's 10 layers to our being, 10 bodies, so to speak. One of them being the physical, and then the other are mental, subtle, spiritual bodies. And the arc line is being worked with in this practice. And the arc line is sort of like our antenna, and it goes from ear to ear. It's like a little halo from nipple to nipple for women as well. So women have 2 arc lines, and it's a very sensitive receiving and projecting, like the way an antenna, a radio tower would do. It's sending out signals, it's receiving signals. So when we work to repair the arc line, we're really working to repair our ability to tune in and communicate with the divine, the universe, the sort of subtle realm that receives our intentions and responds accordingly. And then also us to receive that subtle truth or realization, or what's the next step? Where should I place my focus? What does my intuition say? What messages are wanting to be received by me, through me? And also for women, it's a potent area that stores our intimate relationships. So if our intimate relationships tend to hold us back in patterns in the past, this frees us up. For men, it doesn't really store it. It's like stored for a month and then cleared out. That's what the teachings tell us. So just an interesting thing to take note of. And yeah, may it serve you. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.